What is going on, guys? It is FaZe Simp here, bringing you another video, and today I'm going to be talking about MW2, the beta, and kind of just my overall thoughts on how I was feeling and what I kind of just thought. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into this and let's talk MW2. So first up, we're going to talk about gunplay and gunfights. And to me personally, I felt like there's a decent amount of work that could be done on gunfights. I felt like when people were strafing, there was definitely a weird animation where their arms were like, they're like, you know, strafing kind of sideways, changing up their whole, changing up how their entire character model looks. And I feel like mid gunfight that shouldn't be changing because it's just an inconsistency. Another thing about gunfights in this game is that I think positioning and like head glitches is going to be super important, especially if slide canceling kind of stays out like it's supposed to be. I feel like it will be, but overall, like once you got into a gunfight in the beta with someone on a head glitch, it kind of felt like you literally had to be on one to take him down. And I don't know if I was getting snaked or what, but it felt like head glitches were pretty important and positioning was pretty important. I also felt like the creative class was a pretty balanced experience compared to like Vanguard, where you had like 10 attachments. Honestly, I felt like the recoil in this game is so visible, and you can obviously see that it's there, that having 5 attachments still feels like your gun is not shooting as straight as it could be, if that makes sense. There's so many attachment variations that I feel like there's going to be a couple classes that will be running this year. I don't think there's going to be a godlike best class. I mean, maybe there will be, but I think we'll see a couple people run a different grip here or there, like a different stock. And yeah, overall, I just felt like creative class was pretty balanced. You know, they don't have pick 10, but I thought how they did the attachments was good. I think unlock the progression system, the new progression system is super well done. I actually enjoyed it on the beta once I kind of understood it. I feel like since it's new, it's hard to understand, but I thought it was a really good idea and a really smooth kind of process of like getting your attachments on all your guns and whatnot. So yeah, overall, I feel like the gunplay and critical glasses are just, they're pretty solid so far in MW2. So next up, we'll be talking about the perk system. And overall, I'm not a huge fan of how they did the perks in MW2. I'm personally a huge fan of, you know, the default, you pick the perks you want to spawn in with. And that's kind of that, because I feel like, you know, obviously I'm in a comp mindset, but I feel like earning perks throughout maps is just, it's like a lower tier specialist, if that makes sense. Like, you know, if you were frying, then you get your specialist way faster than everyone else. Like, and there's focus in the first perk you earn, and if you get focus, which is toughness, way before everyone else, are you usually going to be ahead of the comp until other people get it? Are you going to start frying more so they can't get it? Like, it's a very hit or miss system that I feel like it might hurt comp a little bit, but I guess we'll see. Overall though, I felt like the perks were mainly the same as MW. Obviously there's less perks, obviously there's ones that do different things, but I felt like I was seeing a lot of the same logos and a lot of the same somewhat descriptions from perks we've had in the past, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'd like to at least say a little, I mean, it is IW, so, you know, same dev, you can say whatever, but I'd like to say a little bit more creativity in like the logo or whatever. But, you know, that's not a big thing. My biggest thing is just, you know, the perk system not having perks like we did previously, and hopefully it doesn't mess us up too bad. All right, next up we got movement, and this is a little bit of a messy topic because the movement in MW2, I'm not exactly sure what it is yet. In my head, I think slide cancel is going to stay patched. I think they're going to see what everyone did and be like, damn, we might have to touch it a little bit more. But overall, I was a pretty big fan of the movement. I liked how, you know, positioning was kind of, it was worth to get positioning in this game, unlike other games, you know, sometimes. I like that slide canceling wasn't a thing. I feel like the more cameras you break, the less competitive it kind of is. Like, you look at MW, you look at Vanguard. I mean, maybe it's a taxman thing, but like you slide around a corner and you kill someone before they even see you. And in my opinion, that's just not, you know, that's not comp, that's not fair. And I feel like it should always be as even as possible. What felt really nice is that jump shotting is back and like bee hopping. And from someone who I think, you know, I like, you know, bunny hopping, and I feel like a lot of people do too. It's just, it feels so smooth to hit, you know, a nice little 2-3 hop and kill a dude, just not expecting it. And Yeah, you could say you used to be able to do that with slide cancel, but I feel like you have way more of a chance of dying when you do the bunny hopping style because, you know, it's not like you're breaking the camera as bad. Overall, though, I felt like the movement wasn't too slow. I felt like it wasn't too fast. I felt like it was in a good spot for the maps we played. And, yeah, I was a pretty big fan of the movement. Next up, we'll talk maps, but honestly, I feel like there wasn't a lot to really base off of, considering we only saw like 2 to 3 maps. Overall, though, I felt like there's a lot of empty space in some of these maps. There's a lot of versatility, like a lot of ups, a lot of downs, which is kind of expected in COD maps nowadays. But overall, I just felt like, you know, the maps are pretty big. It felt like Arcloft Peak a lot of the time, where you'd go to one end of the map and it'd be like, no one's ever going to be here, like ever. But it wasn't all the maps like that. You know, I think the hotel map was like that, and museum was like that. But what was the other map we played? The market one. I thought market was really good. I thought that was a really fluid map. Hopefully in this weekend's beta, we get to see a little bit more maps. We get to see a little bit more comp style things, and hopefully we get a better view of the game itself, because playing it on PlayStation obviously isn't the best representation of the game itself. So I'm excited just for this beta to start up and get some more reps in. Another big thing I noticed in this game was the visibility aspect. And what I mean by that is I felt like if you started shooting at someone, I don't know if it was the visual recoil, I don't know if it was the smoke coming out of your gun, but I feel like you would lose the person in the gunfight like 80% of the time. And like I said, I don't know if that was because of the recoil I had or what, but I started shooting at someone, I get him one shot, and I feel like I couldn't even see him anymore. And it wasn't just a one-time thing, it was in most gunfights, which I felt like it was a pretty negative thing, because, you know, you want it to be consistent. You want to be able to see the person you're shooting at. And obviously, you know, there's realism aspects to the game, but I don't know. At some point, I feel like it might be too realistic. Another big thing about the visibility that I noticed was the smoke, like the after effects smoke after like a streak or like a grenade or a stun was way too long. You know, I'd die to a streak and I'd come back and the streak smoke would still be there. And then I'd die to someone who could one-way me through that smoke. And I'd watch kill cam and it would just look so different on my screen. So I felt like the smoke was way too heavy. There was random smoke on the map even that was making me lose people. And yeah, I honestly think that the visibility needs to be a little bit better. The plus side on the visibility side of things that I'd say was the colors felt more so like a Treyarch game, like a little bit more than IW. It felt like the colors were a little bit more vibrant. There's a little bit more passion in them. You know, it wasn't depressing World War II colors like we've seen a little bit here and there. So that's definitely a plus side. It makes grinding better, makes grinding more fun, because you're not sitting there just staring at the present colors all day. So one thing I forgot to say about the gunfights and gunplay is that I feel like the stuns and flashes are very, very strong in this game. And yeah, I would get flashed, and a flash hit me like twice. So honestly, get ready to throw attack mask on. All right, let's talk about spawns now. There isn't really much to talk about, because obviously it's not comp spawns. It was domination, it was team deathmatch. It wasn't very anything comp related, and the only comp mode search that we had was, you know, that's one life, so it's not spawn wise. First thing I noticed when loading up into the beta was that the aerial cam was back. You know, the cam, like, you die, you spawn in, and you see an overview of the map before you like get zoomed into your spot. Maybe they like it, maybe pubs like it, but overall I'm pretty sure it's a big impact to spawns. Most of MW, or not most of MW, but during MW, you know, we took the cam off and we found that spawns were just more consistent. Like, people were spawning in less places, you weren't blocking more spawns, and the gameplay felt a little bit better. So hopefully aerial cam is something we can take out of comp, you know, with a nice little setting, and just move on with our day, because I'm not a big fan of the aerial cam. It also seemed like squad spawns were back, but like I said, we were playing TDM and domination, so I can't really say how good or bad it really was. Just that it felt like they were back a little bit. Overall, though, I had a super fun time on the PS5 beta. I can't wait for the PC beta. It's about to be a blast, having, you know, a lot more frames, a lot more smooth like settings, overclock controllers, and PS4 controllers, the whole nine. You know, the whole nine. Overall, though, I had a super fun time on the beta for the time that I played. I felt like it was a good game to grind pubs in a little bit, depending on the maps. Overall, though, I think we're gonna be in for a good year of comp. I felt like there wasn't too much we had to change, and the things that I felt like needed to be changed didn't seem like something that would be hard to do. So overall, I hope some fixes can be made. I hope we see improvement even in this beta coming up this weekend. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy this little breakdown of the MW2 beta, I'd appreciate if you dropped a like. If you're new here, make sure you sub to the channel. Make sure you share the video around. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.